Every time I post a picture or a video of a Mini 14, there's a bunch of people in the comments talking about how they can't group, their $600 AR can shoot better than them. Real Sage EBR chassis. First try. Look at this. It's obviously not the most accurate gun in the world. Today, I have one of my Grail Mini 14s. This is a Mini 14, it's just a ranch rifle, but it's in a Sage EBR chassis. Yes, a real Sage EBR chassis. They did make them for the Mini 14 for a short amount of time. We're gonna see how well this one can group. This is gonna be kind of the best case scenario. If you guys have enough interest in this video, maybe I'll get a completely bone stock Mini 14 and do the same thing with a completely bone stock one. But this is in the scenario of someone saying, my custom built $600 AR can shoot better than that $1,800 Mini 14. This is probably, if you're including optic and suppressor, this is probably close to a $5,000 or $6,000 Mini 14, because this chassis alone, you'd be lucky to find one on Gunbroker for 2,500 bucks right now. So we're kind of taking this as like this is top tier Mini 14 scenario. We've got a variety of ammo. We're just gonna go to 100 meters, which is where this is zeroed at, and group this gun and see if you guys are right or wrong about not being able to hit the broadside of a barn with a Mini 14. Modification wise, aside from obviously being in the Sage chassis, it adds weight, it adds stability, it adds rigidity. There's a lot of benefits to upgrading the chassis. I also did add the accuracy, either systems or solutions. This is their AccuStrut, and it has the adjustable gas block in it. So by doing that, we've been able to tune down the gas so it shoots a lot softer, which means generally you can hold a tighter group. There's less motion and less violent recoil impulse in the gun. It should let you group a little bit better. And then I've got a Dead Air Sandman X on it and an EOTech 1-10 on top with an MGT bipod. So this is our setup we're running today. Best case scenario, this is kind of an SPR Mini 14 setup, and we're gonna see what it can do at 100 yards with all the different ammo. So as we're walking out here, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on the opinion. I love the Mini 14. I have that one in the Sage chassis that we're filming the video with today, which I would consider a Grail Mini 14. I love that thing. I actually haven't grouped it like this, but I do love that gun. I have an SBR to 18 Mini 14 that the internet has loved lately. I would also consider that a Grail Mini 14. That gun's been awesome. Again, I haven't grouped it like this. I'm probably gonna do a video later grouping that gun. But I have had a ton of fun with the Mini 14 platform. And when people are comparing them to ARs, they're not comparable. I can go get my custom made bolt guns and outshoot any AR any day. They're just not comparable. They're not the same platform. If we're gonna compare it to anything, we've got to compare it to like the AK. The Mini 14 is basically the American AK. So let's compare it to that. And for me, if that group's like 4 or 5 MOA, that's great. Any better? Excellent. And in reality, like 3 MOA, 4 MOA, that's gonna be plenty good for like a battle rifle for 99% of people's purposes. I'd say 600 in is a realistic range for most people with 223 or 556. And obviously it's not like ultra precision, but a 3 or 4 MOA gun is gonna be fine for battle use. So all these people on the internet that are, it's not good for battle, like that's just not a valid argument in my opinion. This is the target we're using. Ignore all these holes. This was a used cardboard. I just put up this sticker for this test. We've got our ammo. Here's what we have. We've got cheap, comes in a plastic bag. I believe it's HSL 55 grain reman, the cheapest I could find. We have Hornady Black, 75 grain boat tail hollow point. We have Hornady Match at 223. This is a 73 grain ELDM. This is typically one of my go-tos, as well as my other go-to, Phantom Defense. This is a 77 grain OTM. And then we also have this Nosler 77 grain hollow point boat tail. This stuff shoots really good. It's just really expensive, so I don't actually shoot it that often. I pretty much just use it for videos like this. All right, this is cheap stuff. We're doing 5-round groups at 100 meters, which is where this is zeroed. Oh, I love the sound of a Mini 14. And 2, obviously I'm not gonna re-zero for all the ammo. So it's likely that my point of aim is not going to be my point of impact, but we're looking at group size, not shot placement right now, because I know point of impact is gonna change through all these different ammos. This is 55 grain cheap stuff. we are gonna go top left. So for the Hornady Black, we'll go top right. This is 5 rounds of the Nozzler. This is by far the most expensive of the ammos. We're gonna go on the bottom right. We're gonna do 5 rounds of this Hornady 73 grain match. You guys, this is such an insanely smooth shooting gun. It's crazy. It really is crazy. We're going on the bottom left target. And then last up is this Phantom Defense. These guys are local to Utah. Super cool dudes. They make great ammo. Go check them out. All right, we're going dead center target for this one. All right, that is all our ammos. Do have to take a quick second to thank the sponsors of this video today. First and foremost, Dead Air Silencers. They provided the can for that gun. I needed something lower back pressure because the Mini 14 is higher back pressure from the factory. So in addition to adjusting the gas, I also ran their Sandman X, which is a low back pressure can. It's 30 cal, so it's a little overboard for the 5.56. It still sounds great even though it's overboard, and it maintains incredibly low back pressure, so it was the perfect setup for that gun. Next sponsor is gonna be Phantom Defense Ammo. Huge thank you to those guys. They provide a lot of the ammo for this channel. They provided some of the 5.56 we're shooting today. Go check them out, they have a lot of great ammo. The next sponsor is Gallinson's Guns. It's a local Salt Lake shop, but they also do online. Go check out their website. They carry tons of stuff. They have lots of really, really high-end, nice guns. And Tim, the owner, is a solid dude, a great friend. They provide stuff for us to do this channel. We are walking up to the target here. Let's go through these groups so I can remember. This is gonna be interesting. So this is 55 grain, cheap stuff. This was the Hornady Black. This was Nozzler. This was the Hornady Match, and then this was Phantom Defense. Obviously, we're hitting low on all of these. I zeroed with that cheap 55 grain, so that's why this one is a little better height. I'm gonna assume that. See, this is where it's maybe I need to bring my zero up a little bit and shoot some of these groups again. With the 55 grain, so these are 1-inch squares. We're still less than 4 MOA. It's probably about 3.5 MOA. Then we hop over to the Hornady Black, which was this square over here. And these 4 shots is actually great grouping. There's one flyer down here. This is like a 1 MOA group though, if we take out that little guy. Don't worry about this little guy. And we drop down to the Nozzler, which is the really expensive ammo. It's somewhere, I'm gonna assume it's like in here is the grouping, but honestly, this grouping's not as good as the Hornady Black. So we're just gonna ignore that. This is the Hornady Match 73 grain. I'm gonna assume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's probably that. That's gonna be my guess. And then we go to the Phantom Defense, and this is all 5 shots, which is probably about 2 MOA, I would guess. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to adjust my zero, and I'm actually going to reshoot the Hornady Black, the Phantom Defense, and the Hornady 73 grain, and see if we can get cleaner groupings in a better spot on the target. I have adjusted the zero up, and I have put up a new target sticker, so we've got that whole grid and everything fresh. And we're gonna reshoot those 3 ammos that did the best. That way we have a little better view of what they can do. I'm gonna go top left target with the Phantom Defense ammo. Now we've got the Hornady 73 grain match. We're gonna go top right. The Hornady Black, we're gonna go bottom right. Honestly, right now, looking through the optic, I feel like the Hornady Black is shooting the best. This Phantom Defense looks like I pulled a couple, so I'm gonna give this another 5-round group. This will be bottom left. So top left and bottom left are both Phantom Defense ammo. All right, it's time to go look at those new groups. Our second round of groupings We have Phantom Defense, we have Phantom Defense, we have Hornady 73 grain and Hornady Black 75 grain. Look at this. That gun loves that Hornady Black 75 grain. That is just under 2 MOA because these are 1-inch squares. That's part of rifles too. You need to find what ammo your rifle likes. And clearly it likes that Hornady 75 grain the best because that is a sub 2 MOA group, which is killer. 2 MOA, actually really stoked about that. Now there's just there's some steel targets out there out to like, I know for sure 400, maybe like 5 or 6. Just gonna find some targets and shoot this gun at them. All right, that was an impact, but we're actually gonna wait for the train because I doubt you can hear anything at all with that train going by. All right, there's one at 378 meters. These are like mini ADAP size targets for reference, by the way. I'm dialed to 2 for that. I'm gonna hold a little bit for wind because it's pretty windy today. Hopefully this audio is actually usable. I don't know about you, but for 370 something yards, almost 400, that's pretty dang good. That's all I had of the Hornady Black. I'm actually going to throw in some of this cheap 55 grain. So we did get some doubles in there. I think we can go for 3. Keeping in mind, this is the cheapest ammo I can find. It's reman. It's reman. It's malfunctioning every once in a while. And this gun is still running doubles on a mini ADAP at almost 400 meters. All you guys complaining that the Mini 14 won't be accurate enough for you, you're just wrong. 2 MOA, it's obviously not the most accurate gun in the world, but that's not what it's made for. And it's still doing plenty good as a SPR. All right, doubles at 375. All right, I'm gonna go for 3. First try, 3 in a row, mini ADAP 375 with the Mini 14 and cheap ammo. All right, let's move to 200. Just because it's fun. So there you have it. I'm calling the Mini 14 a 2 MOA gun. Keeping in mind, I did do the AccuStrut and adjustable gas block and a much more rigid chassis. But 2 MOA gun. Easy shots on 375 meters, mini ADAP target with cheap ammo, ran triples. Well, thank you for watching the video. If you want to see more Mini 14 content, let me know. I'm pretty much already planning on doing some content on my SBR 18 Mini 14 and probably some more on that. Let me know what you want me to do with that. That's a Grail Mini 14 right there. You don't see those very often. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see. We'll see you on the next one.